Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again, and I'm happy that you're all here. I'm always so happy. My heart is filled with joy. Joy! Thank you for coming, for pressing play, for sharing and liking and doing all the stuff that you do without even knowing if it's going to be any good. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. You've been here long enough, you probably know where I'm headed. And this is going to be one of those shows. Now, it's like every time I think I'm out and I have nothing to worry about, they drag me back in. Just like Al Pacino. Every time I think that I'm out, they drag me back in. They drag me back in. Okay, let's get into the show. So there's a lot of weird things going on, and I'm not just talking about the German campaigner who took all of his sheep, put a bunch of food down, and then made a syringe out of sheep. No better way to get people to, think that they're free thinkers than to form a bunch of sheep in the shape of a syringe. But, that's just the beginning. I think it was my friend Lucinda that sent me the article about them closing the gates of hell. Yeah, there's this big massive pit because of the methane. It burns all the time. It's always burning. It's always on fire. And they call it the gates of hell. Tourists go there, but it's bad. So the guy's like, hey, we gotta close this thing. We gotta close this thing. Turkmenistan president orders ministers to find experts who can seal off this 230-foot wide methane belching crater that's been burning since 1971. Ironically, I was born in 1971. I'm ready for the gates of hell to be closed. How about you? I think by the end of the show you're going to find that out, especially with all the goofy things happening at the Vatican. But that's in a little bit, so I hope you're buckled up and I hope you're sticking around, because that's where the show gets really cool. A lot of weird things. My friend Darren Lawrence sent me an email, and you're all my friends. Just so you know, if you send me an email, you're my friend, right? Even if we don't know each other in real life, we know each other, via email too, and via here, and comments, and all that stuff. In the live chat, I'm there right now, chatting up a storm with you. Darren Lawrence sent this to me. He said, hey, the doomsday clock. The doomsday clock? I've talked about this. Well, in 2020, they basically set it to, 100 seconds before midnight, which was a big to-do. And it stayed there in 2021. 100 seconds, right? But Darren, he goes, hey, take a look at this. When you find out what it is in minutes, what it means, it's actually 1.66667. So it's 666. You got the 666s everywhere, even in the doomsday clock. Whatever. Hey, the people that created the doomsday clock? Same people that created the situation for the doomsday to begin with. It was it started with the Manhattan Project. But whatever. Let's move on. The year of the tiger. It hasn't even started yet, but it's already off to a great start. 2022 starts. But we can create better. Remember, I've told you the last show. If you haven't seen the last show, you should probably watch it. Because we have power. There's more power within us than you know. And I'm telling you, if you cry out to God and you say to God, look, I just discovered something about the Pope and the Vatican and it's freaking me out. Will you calm me down? Will you give me a word? Sometimes I pray to God. I say, will you teach me? Will you give me a dream? I do. I get a lot of weird dreams, and many times on the program, if you're new to the channel, I know it sounds like all kooky. But yeah, I have these dreams. Sometimes they turn out to be true. But many times these dreams encourage me. I actually just put up a YouTube short about dreams having to do with teeth and what it really means. It's kind of like, I used to think it was a terrible thing because teeth would be symbolic of eating meat. You need teeth to eat meat, but if my teeth are falling out in my dream, I start to think the worst because the devil's the liar, right? And that's the first thing that usually comes, is this loud, scary thought to our head. Oh, you just had a dream of your teeth falling out. That means you're not ready. You're not ready for the spiritual truth. But really what it is it's a dream that your baby teeth are falling out. Your natural teeth, your soulish understanding can't cut into what's coming. So you're going to lose this. You're going to lose this idea that supposedly it's all in your court. You got to handle everything. The world's coming to a goofy conclusion, and you got to you got to handle it. You can't handle the truth, right? You can't handle it. But that's okay because God's in charge. So if you had that dream about the teeth falling out, it's because we're getting new teeth, and that's the day that we're in. This is the day that we're in. We're going to go so much farther and see so much as the world around us starts to crumble. That's right. But don't be scared. Don't you be scared, because you don't have anything to worry about, because God is big enough to take care of us. You're going to find out by the end of the show. You're going to find out, so don't worry. I know a lot of people are worried right now. You see what lengths the Jacob's willing to go to entertain you? Hit the like, will ya? Uranus is a planet. So after I figure all this stuff out about what's going on at the Vatican, which I'm going to get into in a second, it has to do with... Right. I hope that doesn't trigger something, the alarm. But it's a song. It's a song. It's called Megalovania, and it's from a video game called Undertale. Supposedly, in the gaming community, this is like the bee's knees when it comes to gaming. There's like all these different. It's a role-playing game, and it's such a big game that the guy, Game Theorist or Game Theory, which is like a big multi-million subscriber channel on YouTube. Back in 2016, he was chosen to go and meet with the Pope, because the Pope, he cares about all of us, right? He's a godly man, right? I say no. I'm just telling you, I say no. That's the world's Pope. That's not the God of Jacob's Pope, in my opinion. Please don't get upset if you're Catholic. But the dude's been saying some really goofy things, condemning people recently about babies, not having enough babies. If you're going to have pets, he says, if you're going to have pets, you're selfish. Children. Maybe the Pope likes the kids, right? He doesn't have any children because he doesn't have any children. And neither do the priests because they don't allow it. They like to take your children. And they're known for doing stuff like that. It's pretty awful. That should be a telltale sign that maybe you're not in the best place to know God. As I say on the channel, you don't got to come here to Jacob's Well. If you want, come by. But I'm not the answer. No person is the answer. Only God is the answer. Only God is the answer. And Christ came here to reveal his Father to all of you. He says, you got to go to the Father. I'm going to my Father, to your Father, to my God, to your God. We got to do the same thing. We got to pray. Jesus told us how to pray, taught us how to pray. Our Father who art in heaven. Don't listen to these people. I mean, look at the opulence and look at how much money they have and how many people are suffering. Look at the lawsuits that they're paying out. That should be a telltale sign. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. I don't know. I wear an outfit, but I don't wear the goofy outfit with the fish head. It was a god that they used to worship who was a fish. Dagon. But I get this, I find out that the Pope, there's this game, I told you, called Undertale. And it really has to do with demons. Demons in a spiritual battle. Even the game starts off with monsters and humans. They do battle and the humans won, and then they trap the monsters because they don't have a soul into this, this place. And the game, which doesn't really have the best graphics or anything else, it's really one of those games where you don't have to kill anybody. You could choose a path of peace and you can, rescue all the demons and monsters and save them. And there's a way to win the game that way. Or you could choose a path where nothing matters anyway and you just wipe everybody out. It's called the... And there's a song that is associated with it. It's called Megalovania. So I see this, and I see that they're playing this goofy song, and there's a bunch of people dressed up as clowns and everything. It's like a circus. There's a circus going on stage. This is how we're starting 2022, and they're playing this song Megalovania, and they're doing all sorts of things. I can't play the song, but I'm gonna hum it for you. I'm gonna sing the song for you. Because I don't want to get hit with a strike, but where you just wipe everything out. It's very not great for the Pope to be playing this music and being entertained. And then people could say, oh, well, he didn't know. He didn't know about that song. But not really, because it was given to him as a gift. The game, probably the code, because it was probably like a game code or something, was given to him in 2016. Be able to sit with this guy who slaps people's hands away if they try to touch him. Did you imagine? I would never. I'd be like, oh, what are you doing? Let go. You're going to freak me out. You freak me out. Let me go. I wouldn't slap you. These people. God of this world, who is a liar and the father of all lies and the accuser of the brethren, which is cast down. And so I see this and I'm thinking of all the stuff that everybody's scared about, everything that everybody's kind of freaking out about and worried about. A lot of people think that a lot of people are going to end up, dying. Or worse, rising from the dead like zombies or something. There are people that think that this is possible. I'm not saying I'm one of those people. But when I see at the Vatican, oh, by the way, it's not like in that area he's sitting in front of like the most horrific sculpture, which is supposed to be about the resurrection. But really, it looks like the serpent. You go and he's sitting there in his throne and everybody's performing for him like you're something special. You're not special. Nobody's special. The Lord God is special. Even Jesus, who I wouldn't know salvation if it wasn't for Jesus, Yahshua. I wouldn't know. Right? I wouldn't know if I didn't first understand how Christ died for me, like literally, spiritually died for the idea of me, but also physically, literally, so that I could understand the story. And now I know that I have to do as he did. I have to know as he knew. When people came up to him and they said, good master, what must we do to inherit eternal life? He turned around and he said, why are you calling me good? I got issues too. I know what God has prepared for me in the future. I don't want to do it. If you could take this cup from me, he prayed. If you could take this cup from me, he prayed. But not my will, Lord, but yours. I pray that. Not my will, but yours. Why do you think the slogan on the channel, teach me the truth no matter what the cost? Not my will, but God's will. Because if God is for us, who could be against us? And that's the day we're in. A day where you're going to see evil is going to be repaid. The power of life and death is in our tongue. The last couple of shows, I've been talking about how I would like to co-create something greater, to bring those that are corrupt. If they be corrupt, I say, that they will be judged and they will be revealed to be who they are. That's why seeing the gates of hell being put out, the gates of hell being shut down, is amazing to me. Because death and hell in the book of Revelation, well, they deliver up those that are in them, those that are in a mindset, a hellish life. To be carnally minded is death, to be ignorant. You notice how it says they were judged, every man. Death and hell is within you, but those gates are about to be shut. As incredulous as this sounds, this is actually not the first time there's been a Pope Undertale crossover. 2016, YouTube Gamer famously gave the Pope the game code, the Steam code for Undertale. Maybe big Catholic boss guy finally got around to playing it and liked the song so much he requested it for the general audience. Of course, that would mean that the Pope has taken... Not making that up. It's right there. Depending on your view of organized religion, it may or may not match up. I mean, don't you think that they would have vetted that? Like ahead of time? Oh, you're going to play what song? Oh, the song from Undertale. Oh, about the demons battling the humans? About the demons trying to cross over into the human world? Oh, that's a great song. Well, what song is it? Is it the one that has to do with peace and hope and, where everybody comes together and is united? Oh, the one where everybody dies. Yeah. Pope's like, give me that one. Pasta vajul. So he plays that, and of course I get a little bummed out. I get a little down on the dumps. So I'm going, this is the character, by the way. That's Sans. He's ironically, we talk about a lot of things on the channel. We talk about CERN. We talk about, the collider, which, by the way, this is very cool. Because, a long time ago, I was supposed to interview a physicist on the show. I ran into one at where I used to work, and he just kept ducking me. Turns out, at Ethan's basketball game, one of the wonderful guys who read my novel, by the way, he works at the collider. Rick, he's a particle physicist. Can you believe that? I have somebody ready. So I talked to him for like a half an hour. He does the stuff that they're doing over there at CERN. So I'm going to get some inside scoop, you betcha. But yeah, we talk about Mandela, we time travel, we talk about opening other dimensions and black holes and all of this stuff. And you gotta admit, CERN, they're weird people. They do some weird things. They had that mock sacrifice. This one. Hey, ironically, it was right around the same time, I think it was like 2016, right around the same time that this guy gives the show, the Undertale code. Here you go, Pope. And here we are, 2022, how many years later? And they're performing a circus, right? Clowns juggling. Circus pilgrims, megalovania. A 6-year-old Undertale meme. 6! So it's very strange. So you got the Pope, who's the patron saint of animals, which is apropos, animalistic nature. He says that people that choose pets over children, they're not great. They're not great.
We see that some people don't want to have a child. They should have the children and bring them to me. I show them the way.
He's a weird dude, the Pope. Bringing all sorts of idols into that place. But I think this is all a smokescreen. I mean, look. It's hypocrisy, right? To say that you can't have kids if you want to serve God, but then say you're selfish if you don't have kids. It's a little bit of hypocrisy going on. This is strange. You got the Pope saying we need more kids. Then we got most people like Ted Turner and others who's famously on Charlie Rose saying there are too many people in the world, which isn't true. What we need to do is we need to return to God. What we need to do is we need to commit ourselves to the Lord, and He will establish our path. And that's exactly the dream that I had. Isn't that wonderful? So I learned this stuff about the Pope, and it gets me a little, gets me thinking, I'm like, Lord, why does everything have to be so, like, why do I have to pull a thread? And then the more I pull that thread, the more it unfolds and the more horrific it becomes. And I say, Lord, you got to speak to me. You got to speak to me, right? If you want me to share, you got to talk to me. You got to tell me it's going to be okay. Because I can't come on here and be like, hey, the Pope is playing the music for killing everybody. That's not encouraging, right? And then I know some people in the comment section are going to be like, oh, Jacob, well, bad things are going to happen. And I know that. But that's for the people that are outside the kingdom. That's for the people that are outside the kingdom. God has plans for the world. The wicked will be corrected. But if you commit yourself to the Lord, He will establish your way. How do I know this? Because I'm preparing for this show. I'm doing all of this research into this role-playing game and all this that is just way too coincidental for me to feel comfortable about the days ahead, especially knowing what I've been knowing. And so I prayed and I said, Lord, come to me in a dream, speak to me in a dream. You should do the same thing. Because, the scriptures, a third of the scriptures have to do with dreams and visions. A third of it. You spend a third of your life asleep. Because really, if I'm doing all this stuff and I'm like, oh, great. What's this mean next? How do I encourage everybody when I see this? Because, things are vetted, especially if they're going to be recorded, and they could have chose a different song. But I guess they also could have chose a different layout for, the place where he speaks all the time, because if you go to the back of the auditorium, it looks like a snake. He's sitting, it looks like a snake. That's the snake. Yeah. Song about, it's just very strange because You got things like these things called the Georgia Guidestones. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They were erected a long time ago. They don't know who. They say it's the Masons, whatever, I don't know. But it's like it's a monument and it's there. And they have like their commandments and written like all these different languages. And their top one is maintaining humanity under 500 million people. You got all these elites that are in charge of things that think that there's too many people on the planet. And no one's taking the monument down. It's totally sus. It's totally sus. So then I see this, with the Pope, and I get worried. So I pray, I say, speak to me. And then I have this dream. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. I have this dream. Danielle and I are sitting. And I have this like a book with I guess pictures of my life. It was blurry, but it was colorful. This dream, I remember being colorful. And I'm going through these things and I'm saying, remember God delivered us here? Remember God delivered us there? Remember I thought everything was lost and then delivered us there? And I'm going through and I'm just showing it to her. And then I close the book and I say, do you know what it means? Look at what this says. And it said, commit yourself to the Lord and he will establish your way. I woke up in the middle of the night, true story, after my dream. It was probably around 1:30, whatever. I immediately, because see, when you have these dreams, I recommend, it's going to sound silly, but I recommend sleeping with like a notepad next to you. And most people have their phone. Well, just open up or text yourself the dream that you had, because if you go back to sleep, you'll forget it. So what I did was I immediately texted Danielle, because when she learned that message, that if we commit ourselves to the Lord, that our ways will be established, that our plans, the plans that we have in our heart, that God is going to provide and take care of, and no matter what we worry about, as long as we're committed to God, he's going to establish that path that he has put in our life, that desire that is in my heart will be established as long as we commit ourselves. Danielle was crying in the dream. And I wake up and it was like, thank you, because I went to sleep praying. I go to sleep praying this a lot. But for whatever reason, that was the dream that I got. And it is, I look it up. I mean, I knew it sounded familiar. It's in Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 16. To humans belong the plans of the heart. So it's like to us, we think we got these plans. We make these plans. We think we got it figured out. But from the Lord comes the answer of the tongue. All a person's ways seem pure to them, but God judged their motives. Like you may be able to justify being a jerk at work. You may be able to justify stealing. You may be able to justify cheating. You may be able to justify a lot of stuff. And you may think, well, I'm entitled. But God judges your heart. He judges the motives of your heart. And if they're not pure, you're in trouble. Because there's a law of reaping and sowing. If you do good, if you commit yourself to the Lord, things are going to be okay. But if you follow after the ways of the world, not so great. All a person's way seems pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. And this was from the dream. Commit yourself to the Lord, whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. The Lord works out everything to its proper end, even the day to correct the wicked in the world. God does everything. He establishes everything, even the wicked, for a day of disaster. You think evil thinks? You think you think it's gonna stand? You don't think God has an answer. This is the day we're in. Commit yourself to the Lord. He'll establish your plans and the desires of your heart. But if you're wicked, he's going to correct you. The Lord detests, listen to this, the proud of heart. But sure of this, they won't go unpunished. You're noticing today, you're hearing more about powerful people being brought down, being brought to justice, truth being revealed about people that we put our trust in. They're not going to go unpunished, the Lord says. Through love and faithfulness, sin is atoned for. You've done wrong in your life. You've done bad things. But if you love and you forgive this sin, that's recompense. It's repentance. That's how you're delivered from the bonds of it. Through the fear of the Lord, evil is avoided. Trust in that God is real, and that if you do the wrong thing, you will be judged for it. But listen to this. When the Lord takes pleasure in your ways, when you're doing things that are right, when you're forgiving, when you're loving, when you're trusting, when you're taking the hard road, because the easy road is corrupt and jealous and selfish, but when you take the hard road, God sees that. And what does he do? He'll cause your enemies to be at peace with you. Because better is a little bit of righteousness than much gain with injustice. In our hearts, humans plan their course, but God establishes their steps. It is better to have a little bit of righteousness than to gain the whole world. It's better to do a little bit of good than to be a wealthy, powerful person. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem that way. But I promise you, that's the case. So, it's weird that that's what they're playing, but I'm not that concerned. I'm not that concerned, and neither should you be. Whether you did something or you didn't do something, commit yourself to the Lord, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. In the midst of all of this, commit yourself to the Lord. He's going to establish your way. I promise you. Listen, I got to get out of here. I love you all so much. I hope you do share the channel around. Please share the channel around. I can't say that enough. Give it a like. Just doing that. I know a lot of people are like, I don't need to. If you're going to sit and you're going to watch, give it a like. Leave a comment if you're bold. And I hope I will see it and respond. But share the channel around. Please, I need the help. I'm not getting help from the world. I need help from you. If you want, you get yourself a really cool I Am a Witness jacket, hoodie, t-shirt. You want to get the Uranus is a Planet mug and all that stuff. There is in the link. So like in the descriptions of the videos, if you click on the bottom, you can go into the description. You'll see like it starts off merely speculation and all that jazz. You scroll down, you'll see there's the store. Click that link. If you want to get a copy of the novel, The Calling, where is it? Where are you? Where are you, Calling? Here you go. This is the plan that God has given me. I continue to commit myself to God so that one day this becomes a bestseller, which I believe it will. Hopefully this year. It's an important novel. If anything that I've done here has helped you, above anything else, if you have 11.11, that's what the price of it was. I don't know what it is now. It's probably like $9 or $10. If you can get yourself a copy, it would mean a lot. Once again, links in the description. I shared a poem. I want to end on this because I shared a poem on Twitter, which I really like. I wrote it 2016, same time all this weird stuff was going on. If you're living only for yourself and you're putting the needs of others on the shelf, you have not done well. If only we didn't ignorantly trade in heaven for presently eating popcorn in hell, my words would not need to be heard as an alarm's bell. Everything that is shamefully made will be unmade, and every debt that is owed will be paid. This is the story I must now tell. For in this system where lies we buy and souls we sell, there is only salvation in the eyes of those who rise from the very place they fell. And so I pray, help us, Lord God. Help us to wake up from this spell. I hope you all wake up from the spell, and I hope you all have the best day ever. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Jacob Israel. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this channel around. If these shows have helped you, help Jacob to reach more any way you can, and have the best day ever.
Click it.